Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. I'm Amy Chang, and I am a health coach with Healthy Life, Health, and Wellness Coaching. I wanted to share with you today what a typical course of a 6-month coaching package looks like for my clients. A lot of people have a lot of confusion over are you going to give me a diet plan? Are you going to give me a workout plan? Are you going to tell me what to do? And my answer to that is no, I'm not going to do that. And then they settle down and they were like, well, what are you going to do? Here's what it typically looks like. Most of my clients who start with a 6-month package, I used to do 3-month packages. I still do them occasionally, but I find that most of the work that we do just simply takes 6 months. The first month is spent really digging into who you are and what you really want for your life. My clientele is about 75% women. So I do have about 25% men. And when you break us all down, we're all humans and we all want the same thing, right? We want to love and belong, and we live in fear of losing our loving and belonging. I mean, when we break it all down, that's sort of where we're at. But I'm going to talk, and hopefully you can relate, whether you're a man or a woman. When we start our first month together, we start peeling off who are you and what do you want. So many of us have no idea who we are or what we want. We know what our spouse wants from us, what our coworkers wants from us, what society expects for us, what our mama did, what our children need from us. But we actually have not spent a lot of time looking at wait, who am I? And why do I want my health? What do I want to do with it? Who do I want to be in the world? What does that look like? And we spend about a month really getting that cultivated, taking off some old beliefs, looking at some actions and choices that don't fit us anymore. And we very carefully drop in little actions. So the first month really looks like a lot of self-discovery and actions that keep what we want close to us. So I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but I know I have. I've had this conversation with a friend or whatever, and it's this fabulous conversation about what the future is going to be and what I can do, and if I were really in all my power and beauty, what I'd be doing. The excuses have laid aside. I've cut through all the BS. It's yay, go team. And then 2 days later, I bump into that friend at the coffee shop and I'm like, yeah, I'm back to the, doing the same old, same old. It doesn't stick. You can cultivate those feelings of oh, this is the vision that I want for my life. But visions don't stick without doing a little something to keep it close. So typically in that first month of coaching, we are doing a lot of discovery of who you are and what you want in your life. And then we're putting actions in that keep that ideal close to your reality here. And for some people, it looks like I've had a client who picked a seashell because it reminded her of a day that she was on the beach and she felt beautiful and at peace and in nature and connected and healthy, and she loved that feeling. So she had a seashell to remind her of that. I've had clients make a playlist. I've had clients make a Post-it note on their mirror. I've had clients use pictures of themselves that remind them who they are when they really have an experience of themselves that is powerful and capable and at peace, maybe even joyful. So those are the kinds of actions typically that come out of that first month. Then we get into maybe month 2 or 3. And everybody's a little bit different, right? Some people are really open to seeing themselves honestly. Some people need a little bit more time to look at the honesty piece because maybe they don't love themselves quite as much. Maybe they've got a louder, critical, voice in their brain. Maybe they can hear their mom saying like, are you really going to eat that? Or are you really going to wear that? Or, whatever it is. And so we want to be gentle and kind with those things. And now we're starting to really look at your goals. Okay, well, if this is your ideal vision for yourself, and this is how you're going to keep that alive and well for you, what goals might get you there? Now, this is all an experiment. We don't know if these goals are going to get you to that ideal place of peace and empowerment. We don't, but we've got to start somewhere. So we start making these goals that we think will get us there. And then we start dropping in more actions. So we've got maybe one action now that we're just trying out, still low-hanging fruit, the ones that we're pretty sure we can do. And we're trying them out. That tests so many things. It tests your motivation. It tests your systems in your household. Does your spouse, does eating dinner with your spouse and kids support that action and support that goal? Well, it might not. I don't know, maybe your family likes to eat at 9:30 and you're trying to go to bed at 10 and your sleep sucks and you need to address that. Well, we might try an action that doesn't work. So finding those month 2 and 3 is all about like just trying an action, and maybe it's working, maybe it's not. Maybe we're tweaking it. Maybe we love it. Maybe we did it great for 2 weeks, but now we're off the wagon because work came in really hard and now we're having to get back on. Right? So months 2 and 3 are really an experiment in our actions. And we're still working mindset, staying close to who we really want to be. By the time we hit month 4, a lot of the habits that we were trying in months 2 and 3 have become easy. We don't think about them anymore. We just drink all that water without even thinking about it. We're going to the gym without any kind of friction at all. The clothes are out, the shoes are out. We know what class we like. We know the instructors we like, the ones we don't like. Our sleep has evened out because we've adjusted what is really working well for us and what needed to be tweaked. Month 2 and 3, that happens. And so by 4, we're starting to cruise on some things. By 4, it's time to re-look at those goals. Now, we're keeping an eyeball on them, right, out of the corner of our eye the whole time we're going. But month 4 comes, and we're pulling those things out. All right, let's look at these. Which of these goals have we already met? Which of these goals do we need to throw aside because actually we've decided they're not in line with what we really want for ourselves? Okay. Which of these goals are like, wow, this still is a goal I think will get me somewhere good I want to go, but I hadn't done anything that has impacted my forward movement for this goal. In the beginning, in those first few sessions, the first month and a half, we have sessions that are heavy. There's just no other way to describe them. You're doing the heavy lifting of why you've been in your way. And you have been in your way. We're doing the heavy lifting of loving yourself, even though now you've discovered that what's been in your way is not anyone else. It's actually you. And we're loving you through it and be like, okay, I was in my way. Great. Because guess who I can move? Me. I can't move another person, but I can sure as heck move me. So we're doing those, and it's a heavier process. By the time we hit month 4, we're planning actions, and it's no longer having to plan out an action like we would do in month 2 or 3. Month 2 or 3, when we're planning actions, we are getting them down to the detail. What's going to happen if you say you're going to take that run outside and it's raining that day? What's your backup plan? What's liable to get in your way? How confident do you feel you're actually going to do that? What support do you need to be able to do that, meet that action this week? By the time we hit 4, 5, and 6, it's like, Okay, where do you want to focus today? You want to focus on this barrier? You want to focus on this strength and leaning into that? Okay, great. How do you feel about, whatever tweak you want to make? Great. When are you going to do that? Oh, you're going to do that on Monday? Fantastic. How confident do you feel? You feel good? All right, break. Sometimes I actually say to my people, all right, hands in, break, go team, whoop. And you're out of there. It's a much different conversation than in the first, 6 weeks of coaching. But you don't get there if you don't do the heavy lifting in the front. And then by the time we hit 5 months, we're beginning to see, where do we really need to screw down? Where do we really need to get if we're going to go to those goals, if the goals are still applicable? And by the time we hit 6 months, it's hard to even pull them in for their last appointment because they're rocking and rolling. Then what we do is we go on a monthly call. And it's a call that's a tether, because no matter how easily those habits that you started in month 2 feel in month 4, 5, and 6, life is life. Life will happen. And when it happens, all this 6 months of work in your 53 years of life can fall to the wayside, and those old patterns for 52 and a half years of life can come back in. And that is okay. We do that phone call to make sure, like, hey, how you doing? This is your check-in. This is your, are the wheels on the bus? Are they slightly off the bus? Can we find the wheels? What do we need to do? So that my clients can have the support they need for that longevity. Now, sometimes big things happen, and the wheels do roll off the bus and down the hill and out of the county, and we need to come back into session, back into maybe that 3-month package, back into maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions, and clean up. Sometimes everything is so great, and that first package is so behind us now because all of those habits are solid, that we want more. We want another level. And clients will get another 6-month package because they're ready now to work on that other layer. That's also fun. So when we look, and it's funny because when we go into that second 6-month package, the people who get a second 6-month package, we don't have to do the first month, second month of the heavy lifting. They've done the heavy lifting. So we go right into, all right, let's just check in on your vision for yourself. Let's check in on what goals you want to go to, and let's start. So it's a lot easier for them because they just have to take a peek over at the heavy lifting and then get right back into action, which is where we create results for our life. So I just thought that would be helpful for me to describe really what it looks like when someone comes to work with me for 6 months. It's a journey. It's a privilege. It's joyful. It's hard. It's growth. It's purposeful. It's not hard with no purpose. And I don't know what a real privilege and gift it is for me to be alongside people as they grow, learn, work, suffer, live with purpose, and create a life they really love. I'll leave it right there for today. Give yourself a little grace and take care of all the people around you, but stay connected to that person inside you. See you next time on Healthy AF.